Welcome to ABC Creation Meditations. Letter I, Intelligence and Imagination. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness." Genesis 1. God's attributes, beginning with the letter I, include infinite, invisible, infallible, intercessor, intelligence, and imaginative. God is infinite, yet man is finite. God is invisible, which means we cannot see God, yet we can see his works. Yet some of his creation is beyond our human ability to see. And we'll explore today human intelligence and imagination and the invisible to the naked eye, complex, simple cells. In the first chapter of Genesis, we see the story of creation. Out of nothing, the Latin is ex nihilo, God creates time in the beginning. Energy, let there be light. Space, let there be a firmament. And matter, water, solid earth, fertile soil, oceans, and then he fills all with living, reproducing plants and animals. For all these complicated systems to appear and continue to this day, intelligence, imagination, and creative power pre-existed outside the created systems. The solar system, the stars, and immenseness of the universe evoke wonder. It seems infinite. The heavens declare the glory of God. The firmament shows forth his handiwork, from Psalm 19. The life-giving language of DNA, engineered biological systems, molecular machines, and adaptable organisms attest to this intelligent, internal, and complexity of the cell. The Lord created humans with the intelligent ability to explore and to discover his creation. So when God says, let's make man in our image after our likeness, and he created male and female, then God saw everything he had made, and indeed it was very good. Again, from Genesis 1. Human intelligence. Have you ever considered your own intelligent ability to imagine and create? You start with an idea. Through intelligent design, trial and error, you select matter, and over time can generate objects or businesses, products, productive farms, or landscape gardens. Beauty, efficiency, productivity, and reproduction can be included in these accomplishments. These products are not the result of random actions, but carefully calculated steps with specific matter inputs toward desired outputs. Intelligence and imagination are involved, which testify that you are made in the image of God. Let's look at intelligent scientific research. Intelligent scientific research focused on life invisible to the naked eye, and knowledge has been passed down and built on the accomplishments of others. Robert Hooke was a British scientist well known for discoveries spanning physics, astronomy, and paleontology. He coined the term cell and was the first to publish a depiction of a microorganism, documented in his book Micrographia in 1665. Hooke's work paved the way for the Dutch scientist Antonie van Leeuwenhoek, 1632 to 1723, to observe bacteria with a microscope. He became the father of microbiology. Observations using microscopes revealed that life comes from life, not life evolving from non-life. Beliefs and bias influence what is pursued in research. When assumptions are true, predictions and further research progresses. Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk and biologist, was very thorough in his genetic experiments on plant hybridization, although his genetic implications were not readily understood. Mendel's work was contrary to current beliefs about heredity. But about 30 years later, they were embraced and accepted. Traits of parents are passed down, so children inherit traits from parents and can resemble their grandparents. Science knowledge and technology improvements gave rise to microbiology, cell biology, and genetics. God created man with the intelligence to investigate and explore his creation. Rosalind Elsie Franklin, 1920 to 1958, was a British chemist and X-ray crystallographer. Her work was central to the understanding of the molecular structures of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA, ribonucleic acid, viruses, coal, and graphite. Although her works on coal and viruses were appreciated in her lifetime, Franklin's contributions to the discovery of the structure of DNA were largely unrecognized during her life. The X-ray diffraction images of DNA by her student, Raymond Gosselin, led to the discovery of the DNA double helix, for which Francis Crick, James Watson, and Maurice Wilkins shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1962. Rosalind died from ovarian cancer at the age of 37 in 1958. She lived half the normal lifespan, yet from Job 14:5 we learn, man's days are determined, the number of the months is with you. You have appointed his limits. And from the psalmist, the days of our life are 70 or 80 years, for soon it is cut off and we fly away, from Psalm 90. Since Rosalind Franklin was deceased, she was ineligible to be included in the Nobel Prize for DNA structure, although today she is recognized for her contributions. Chromosomes, the cell intelligence, contains the information to monitor and control the functions of the cell. Chromosomes are a thread-like structure of nucleic acids and proteins found in the nucleus of most living cells, carrying genetic information in the form of genes. The cell, although previously considered simple, resembles a microscopic factory with protein production, energy production, packaging structures, garbage removal, travel passages, cell boundary with doors that pump matter in and out, and an external membrane sensors. How the cell determines which DNA to transcribe with RNA to generate functioning proteins continues to be studied. The wonders of the cell alone provide plenty of material for a lifetime of study by countless scientists. Job 26:14 says, "Indeed, these are the mere edges of his ways, and how small a whisper we hear from him." So let's take a look at the cells in the human body. Although each cell in the human body contains identical chromosomes, 22 autosomes, and 2 sex chromosomes, either XX for female or XY for male, cells differentiate during development. Each human body is unique, unless you are an identical twin. Each organ system has unique cells that form different tissues. You have blood cells, muscle cells, heart cells, liver cells, bone cells, brain and nerve cells. All of these cells, tissues, and organs work together in the human body. The brain communicates with the body through cells of the central nervous system. So let's look at human intelligence. There are many theories concerning how children learn, develop, and mature, how the brain works. According to the triarchic theory, intelligence has 3 aspects: analytical, creative, and practical. It's from Sternberg, 1985. I personally appreciate Howard Gardner's work in the 8 Ways of Knowing from Project Zero at Harvard University. Gardner characterized human intelligence into categories: linguistics, math, spatial, interpersonal, intrapersonal, natural, musical, rhythmic, and kinesthetics. Linguistics is about reading. One learns to read and then reads to learn. Logic in math involves facts that are right or wrong. 1 + 1 = 2, 3 × 3 = 9, mental computing, and reasoning. Benet-Simon's intelligent quotient, or IQ tests, primarily focus on linguistics and math, and they fail to adequately rate overall intelligence. Spatial intelligence involves three-dimensional perception, which can be characterized as dyslexia, as people see 2D letters from a 3D perspective, such as a D looks like a B when you flip them around. Spatial intelligence is utilized in mapping, orientation, architecture, structure, and art. Interpersonal intelligence, also by some social-emotional intelligence, is the ability to cooperate productively in groups, especially as adults. For example, activities that build interpersonal intelligence include the acronym BUILD. B, bring in higher order thinking. U, unite the team. I, ensure individual learning. L, look over and discuss learning. D, develop social skills. That's the word build. Intrapersonal intelligence involves thinking about thinking, controlling your thoughts, and shifting to different levels of consciousness or awareness. These ABC creation meditations enhance intrapersonal intelligence as you take control of your thoughts. The Apostle Paul demonstrated intrapersonal intelligence as he endured numerous trials as a result of sharing the good news about Jesus Christ in the first century. His New Testament letters, mainly written from prison, express his contentment and joy beyond his physical experience. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. I count all things lost, that I may gain Christ and be found in him. For I have learned, in whatever state I am, to be content. From the Epistle to the Philippians. Musical rhythmic intelligence involves not just intelligence, but the physical abilities to sing, to dance, to recognize rhythm, to create or to compose music, or to create instruments that produce the sounds. Music expresses emotion and reveals culture. Natural intelligence allows one to understand and appreciate nature, plants, gardening, cooking, animals, and the outdoors. Spending time in nature can relieve stress, improve health, and help people on the autism spectrum. I'm learning to recognize ideas worthy of God as I observe nature. Those with kinesthetic intelligence are the natural athletes, but practice and diligence are required to perfect skills of every sport. People learn differently, and instructors have different preferred teaching styles. Various schools emphasize certain intelligence, yet teachers and parents are encouraged to know their own children and students, so all grow and develop their full potential. Parents have a God-given responsibility to train up a child in the way he should go. It's from Proverbs 22:6. Brain research has shown that certain areas of the brain are utilized during various thought processes. Brain plasticity, or neuroplasticity, involves adaptive structural and functional changes to the brain. It is defined as the ability of the nervous system to change its activity in response to intrinsic or extrinsic stimuli by reorganizing its structure, functions, or connections after injuries, such as a stroke or traumatic brain injury. All ages benefit from mental health and continual learning. Humans are amazing, created in the image of God. As the psalmist declares, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well, from Psalm 139. So as we look at who God is, from the letter I, God is intelligent, infinite, infallible, invisible, and the intercessor. And our new identity is we can be inquisitive, investigative, interested, interesting, imaginative, and the image bearer of God. Thank you for joining me for the ABC Creation Meditation on the letter I.